Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Miracle Inspiration Call where the Ancient Secrets community comes together for reminding ourselves how to love ourselves, love each other, and in our loving, then we are able to heal ourselves and others. And this community is inspired by Dr. Clint's book, Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer. And it's wonderful to see Dr. Clint on the call today. I am also having so my name is Robin Lee. I'm hosting today, and Michael Smith is my co-host. I'm very excited to be talking about love and how the space that we need to be in order to heal ourselves and others, and why the Ancient Secrets community and the Inspiration Call is such a wonderful place to be able to put ourselves in that mindset of love. And so first, I am going to share the disclaimer. Is that up? Well, it's not a disclaimer. The opening quote in the book, "I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you, and love will teach you." That quote has always had a profound effect on me, and I love it. So I love that it's part of our disclaimer. And the disclaimer is basically that this information is for educational purposes only. It's not meant to diagnose or treat any medical condition. And, so talk to your doctor. But when you should know that when you make health and lifestyle changes, you can see a difference in your health. So you might need to go to your medical doctor and have them adjust your meds. And we have had many people in this community do exactly that. So today, one of the things that I thought, Cornelia, are you done with the cross posting yet? Okay. We'll wait on that a little bit. So I wanted to say welcome to anybody who is new. Well, welcome to all of you. And if you are new, put that this is your first time in the chat so that we can welcome you properly. And maybe what I will do is I will share the quote because it's very relevant to the conversation. "A simple paradigm shift is all that it takes to change the course of your life forever." That's by Jeff Spires, and it was in the Ancient Secrets book on page 195. And so the reason that I chose this quote is because I've noticed in my life I could be in a downward spiral or an anxious state, or in any way not being able to accomplish what I want because my mind is stuck in a certain way. And however I do it, if I can do a perspective shift and a mind shift, then all of a sudden the doors open. And it can be physical, it can be mental or emotional. And so I'd like to have actually Levi, if you could share your story about Roscoe when he had his tumor and the mind shift that you had to make. You told us about that yesterday in the Miracle Experiment, and I think it's worth repeating because it really demonstrates what I wanted to have happen in this call, that we get inspired on what we can do when we change our mind.
Thank you, Robin. Yes. So the moment that Robin's asking me to share is a moment when and if you heard my story many times, which I've shared it on this platform many times, was about my dog Roscoe. One day he just became sick actually, and he started to shake. He went into a fever of 104.5 degrees, which is like the maximum that a dog could go into. And they found, with an ultrasound, they found a mass in his stomach that was about the size of a plum, they said. And because of how sick he was, the doctor even told me that my best bet was probably to put him down, because even surgery, not only would I would I spend a lot of money, but there's almost guarantee that he would die, you know. And it was just, he was only 7.5 years old at that time, and I knew there was a lot of life in him. And there was just, I had earlier lost another dog, a year earlier, and so like all these fears kept coming into my mind of like me about to lose my dog. And I'm a very emotional person. Like I have a big heart, and I was able to really connect. And my dog, like, and my dogs were like the divine within my life, showing me who I was, my own reflection, showing me my insecurities, showing me my flaws, and like helping me become a better person, and was one of the catalysts of falling back in love with my life. And he was one of the catalysts of my gratitude, was my dog Roscoe. And so in this moment, I was scared, and I took him home, and I wasn't going to do the surgery. And I honestly, in that moment, I didn't even have the money to do the surgery. And I remember there was just this moment, because I just couldn't, I just like kind of broke down, because I was like, dude, my dog is going to pass now, you know, and it just happened so fast, and I can't help him. And all these fears from the past just like flooded in. And my mind state just became like, just full of like, well, what was about to happen, you know? And all the thoughts of losing a loved one, all the thoughts of like not being able to like, recover him or whatever. And I remember there's this moment, because he was hot, he was constantly patting, so he was just and I had broken down, and I was crying. And I remember just him staring at me. There's this moment where I was like crying, and he's just staring at me, panting, and he's just like looking dead at me. And it was as if, and in this moment, I was like, yo, what, like, Roscoe needs me right now, you know? Like, and it was like he looked at me and was like, what is wrong with you? You got to get yourself together. Like, I'm the one that has a tumor over here. What is wrong with you? You know? And I was like, man, right now, and luckily, if you've heard my story, I had used gratitude as a big catalyst in my life. And as a matter of fact, it's like the biggest tool that I use in my life that keeps me on the journey that I'm currently on. And it allows me to be magnetic in my life through the power of gratitude. And I knew that I had learned early on that in energetic healing, when you want to heal, that you cannot heal from a state of fear. And I realized in this moment that like I was full of fear. I was so scared that my dog was going to die. And everything that my eyes could see was telling me that that was true. My dog had a tumor. He was sick. He had 104.5. If he even went up a little bit, his body would go into like whatever. He would probably go into convulsions or something, because his body just overheated. And I remember that in that moment, I pulled out my gratitude journal, and I was like, dude, I got to change my state. Like, I had to change the way I was, because I was too, just my mind was just in a tumble of fear. And so I pulled out my gratitude journal, and I was like, how do I do this? Like, I need to write. Like, I had to get out of this state. And so I started to write as if Roscoe was healed. Like, what does that look like? And that's actually the key to this, and the key to this moment of shifting my energy was pulling my gratitude out, and not just saying that to write and to imagine Roscoe in the future, but what to truly embody that, and what that looked like in my life. And the way I was able to do that was I had to breathe, and I had to relax my mind, and I had to visualize what it looked like Roscoe being happy. And and through the power of visualization and the memories that I had, I visualized him running around and galloping and chasing his ball, and doing all the things he did when he was fully excited and happy. And then I wrote it down, and I would write it down, how grateful I was to have these moments, and how lucky I was to have him in my life, and how grateful I was that he healed, and that he's running around and galloping and catching his ball. And in that moment, my mind shifted from fear and anxiety and worry to hope and possibility to optimism. And in that, I became more powerful, I felt, to help my dog Roscoe heal. So that's how I was able to shift my vibration.
that, is so, it's such a profound story. And we did get to meet Roscoe. I got to meet Roscoe when we were in Ashland, and he had actually had another healing journey thing going on. And I love that our animals can be part of our healing and our demonstration of when we love our animals, how we can heal them. And so one of the things,
I was just gonna say that Roscoe did go to live on for 5 more years. So, and everybody did get to meet him, and he did reduce the tumor in his stomach. I was able to do that, and there was just a miraculous story that happened with Roscoe, and so it was an amazing result that ended up happening. For those
that
that don't
is
know.
absolutely amazing. And yes, it is wonderful what happens when we can shift our state into what is possible. Um, and so I'd like to, one of the things my intent for this call was to be able to um, share the importance of being able to have this hour every Sunday morning that we come together in a community of love. Um, I don't know if is Shifra on the call today? Hopefully she's on because she is.
Yes, I am on the call.
All right, awesome. So this call is for you. Um, because I understood we were in the breakout room several weeks ago, and Shifra shared, that she feels like people in this community don't care about what's going on in the world. And from my perspective, we do care, but we cannot be our best, and we can't change ourselves. We can't heal ourselves, and we certainly can't help heal the world if we spend so much time worrying about what's going on everywhere in the world that we're like Levi in his state of worrying he's going to lose his dog. He wasn't able to help Roscoe in that state. And so to me, this hour that we have together, where we're talking about letting love guide us, and we get to hear the stories of what happens when people do that. That is what we want to use this hour for. And I know that there's a lot of people in the world who don't know what love is. I mean, to some extent, we all have pretty limited concepts of love compared to Dr. Naram and his totally being able to love people whether they were ready to kill him or whatever. He's like, I will help you. And so, but I've heard people who needed to focus on, I want to understand what love is. They would do that for 20 years before they cracked open that shell and were able to experience love. And so to me, this container of the Ancient Secrets community is like one of those places you can come and be in that loving frequency and learn little by little how to be able to accept more love. And one of the reasons that I invited Michael to be my co-host is because he was my first miracle in the Miracle Experiment game. He joined the Friday group. And so in the call yesterday, he was telling us about this book that he's writing about how to receive love. And so Michael, can you come on and share a little bit about why I felt it was my first miracle that you came into the call, and why I wanted you to be co-host today.
Well, I can't share that, but you can. Well, you tell me why you thought that.
Well,
I'm pulling
because
over, so I'm not driving at the same time, too.
you're that you're writing a book on how to receive love. And if I remember correctly, in your discussion with Dr. Clint, we recognize that because we have been taught it's better to give than receive, then a lot of times the greater majority of us are in a position where we don't we don't receive love well. And it's part of the healing that we have to receive the love, and not just when we're willing to, have somebody rubbing their hands, that we all do this and we give each other love. And if somebody is particularly needing healing, but that love comes in the form of abundance, of having enough money to do what you want, of being able to withstand all of the negativity that's in the world, and be able to not let that stress bother you. And so,
Robin, I want to say that, so it's actually also a miracle for me that you invited Michael to do this. In conversations with him, I said to him about a week ago, is there any way you would, co-host a Sunday call about this topic? And then without me ever mentioning it again, I see in the chat that you had invited him on this call this Sunday to do it. I was like, wow, amazing timing.
there you go.
And I also love that the idea for this book came as he was driving home from Sedona. And that so many of the gathering, whether you were there in person or not, just that love and that reception of love and that the expansion of love from being more and more authentic is what inspired this concept, and really fun. So I'm excited to be here as a participant. I want to learn how to receive love better. Anyone else want to learn how to receive love better? I think it's like good idea for us, and I can't think of something else that I would want people that I love so much, that I'm looking at your faces, Anne and Ariana and Betty and Beverly and Carol and Brett and Cindy and El Mao from Senegal and Esther Francis and Geraldine and all the people, Jane, everyone. I'm looking at your faces. I'm like, oh, I want us to receive love more, to be more receptive, and to let it come in. And so anyway, I'm here as a participant, but just wanted to add that it was a miracle, Robin, that you asked him at the right time.
Awesome. And I think that is my my lead in to my exercise today. Rather than doing a minute of silence, I thought we'd spend a minute or two looking in each other's eyes and recognizing that each person is divine. And be in gallery view so you can see lots of people, and be able to, or go and click on them so that you can make them large, or Cornelia may wind up spotlighting some people. But I want to be able to have the experience of, when we see God in each other's eyes, then it's like an active exchange of love. You're giving love and you receive love. And when we can do it with the people we know we love, then it's an even bigger thing when we can do it with the people we have a challenge with, and recognize that they are also God, and there is something in them to love as well. And it doesn't matter what they've done, but it will change the chemistry in your own body, so that you are having the chemistry of love instead of the chemistry of anger or frustration or hate. And Carol, you've got your hand raised.
Yeah, it just reminded me of this little song that used to sing. The light in me sees the light in you. The light in you sees the light in me. The light in me knows the light in you. The light in you knows the light in me. And the light in me loves the light in you. And the light in you loves the light in me. And the light in us comes from God within and lives here in my heart.
We get music and everything. Woohoo! Thank you, Carol. That was perfect and highly appropriate. So
I love your songs. We should always start with someone singing something. It's so beautiful.
all right. So I'm gonna set my timer. I'm not gonna have it go off. So it'll be about somewhere between a minute and 2 minutes. I don't want to be bothered by the buzzer.
Also, Robin, for those who don't know how to do gallery view, there should be a button on your screen that says view. And if you click on that, it has speaker, gallery, multi-speaker. So we're asking you to click on gallery.
And we can also do some highlighting of some people. So we
And-
can do all of these things here in Zoom.
And if it's your iPhone, there's a little thing on the bottom that says, well, it's participants. No, I get it by swiping. When I swipe on my iPhone to the left, I get gallery. I don't know if that's true for everybody. It's just wanted to throw that out there.
Yes.
That's definitely helpful. Thank you, Ariana.
Okay, are we ready?
Yes. Cornelia, I'm having so much fun. Can you just run through everybody who's got their camera on?
Yep.
Mm, mm, mm.
I'm sending you some silent love from Winnemucca. Well, I guess it wasn't so silent. Winnemucca, Nevada. I wonder who said, let's name this Winnemucca. I think the other person said, how do you spell it?
I have not smiled this much and this hard in a really, really long time. And I really like actually getting to acknowledge everybody who's on the call in a very intentional and loving way. And Cornelia, don't forget to include yourself before we end. If there's anybody who hasn't been spotlighted, can you raise your hand? Because it might be getting hard for Cornelia to recognize if there's anybody left. So how did everybody, how was that for everybody? Let's start with Cornelia because she's spotlighted right now. I know for me, literally, as soon as I started to smile and my smile got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, oh my God, this is so much fun to intentionally love people. Yes, Cindy.
Hi, everyone. This was such a lovely exercise. At first, like almost the end, I was like, tears were coming out. I had a conference once that we had an exercise similar to this where I was sitting right across from another person, and other groups were doing the same thing. And the question was, what is love? And we needed to repeat that over and over again. And what I started experiencing is almost like an overlay of images came in front of the person. And literally, just like it happened where you guys were spotlighting people, literally, I was seeing images of spotlighted people throughout. And this was just in super like fast. But every person that I saw their face, their facial features, they were all different. They were all nationalities and everything. And even though it was going super fast, my brain captured all of their face and it just filled me completely because that is what love is. Love is everybody. Love is all of us. And I think this is such a beautiful thing that we just did. You know, yesterday was my birthday. I turned 39 and I wrote that I want to see God in everybody.
Oh my God, you got your manifestation.
It literally just came true. And I joined the miracle experiment game because it started on my birthday. I thought that was amazing.
Oh my God, that is amazing. Happy birthday. And I'm glad that I got the inspiration to do this.
Thank you.
This was perfect.
That's amazing. So amazing. You're already getting clear on what you want and seeing the miracle happen on day 2 of the game. It's so beautiful. Happy birthday, Cindy. Amazing.
Amazing. All right, Shifra.
Well, thank you for, I just wanted to first say thank you for doing this, Robin. And I just wanted to clarify, it's not that I think people don't care or that people aren't loving. I think what I meant is that when there's sort of cataclysmic things happening, I feel like they need to be addressed. It was more coming from that place, that when I see injustice, I want it to be addressed. That's where it was coming from. Yeah, it was beautiful to see. I remember doing it when I was in Sedona a couple of years back, and it was just, it was like trippy, you know. It was just like, oh my God, who is this person? And it was just like some people had such big smiles, and other people looked more serious. But like, if you feel into what you're really looking, like who you're really seeing, it's, oh my God, it's tremendous. And I think it ties in with what Levi was saying about gratitude. Because if you're focused on what is not, what is destructive or what is not good, it's hard to stay in a place of gratitude. And I think a place of gratitude is more a place of love. And I feel grateful to be here with all of you.
Thank you, Shifra. So one of the things that I want to be sharing when we do the perspective shift, there are levels, right? So you can go from fear to calm and be able to handle things in the world better. But the miracles come when you bump up beyond your rational mind. In my experience and from what I know, when we can put ourselves in that greater state of love and being able to, our minds can access the quantum field. And so we are creating reality every moment by how we think and the energetic field that we're creating with how we think and the energy we're coming from. And so being able to create the real magic in our lives comes when we can raise our frequency so much that how we're looking at the cataclysms in the world, we're not having to focus there, because that's how we can shift things in a greater way, is that we're not looking at the hurt and the pain. Just like when you do the what do you want, Marma, you don't want to be focusing on what you don't want anymore. You want to be focusing on how, what do you have when you've already got what you want. And so it's a shift that, maybe we pay attention for a short amount of time to what's going on, but then as soon as we can flip into more possibility, then we can make a bigger difference, in my opinion and perspective. Okay, let's see our next person. I need better glasses. I have. Yep.
Caroline is next.
Yeah, sorry, I can't see without my better glasses.
Yeah.
So I thought this exercise was pretty wonderful. I know that there's a lot of people who feel like they're invisible or don't want to be seen or feel like they haven't been seen. And I could put myself in that category. I was born with a cleft lip. And so I always felt defective. And it was like, oh, I didn't want to be seen. And so this is a good exercise. I mean, it was like to be spotlighted and be seen, it's a big deal. It opens your heart. So I want to thank you for this exercise. It was very good. And we all really want to be seen. We want people to know we're here on the planet so that we can make a really wonderful difference. So thank you very much for that exercise, because it was lovely. I smiled so much looking at everybody. It's like I couldn't stop smiling. It was
Yep.
really great. Yeah. Yeah. So then,
Yes, awesome. Ariana.
Hi. That was amazing, Robin. Thank you so much for that. That was just amazing. It was such a powerful exercise. And not just, I mean, it wasn't just the joy of it. It also like magnified any love I already felt for people. So it was like just, and each face, it was so beautiful and just, oh, and I was just, making these little noises with my mute on. Thank God my mute was on. That it was just so delightful. And it felt like it just strengthened all those bonds in the entire group. The love, it's like it took the love and it just went boom, and also I just wanted to comment on Cindy, your share, because I remember seeing Cindy's face. She's smiling and I'm like, oh my gosh. And what a wonderful share that, here it was your birthday. What an incredible manifestation, right? I mean, all of a sudden she gets to see the God in all these wonderful people in this group. So that was just wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes, I agree. Cornelia.
Yeah, for me, it was quite interesting because I couldn't really focus on everyone because I had to kind of go and see who I hadn't spotlighted yet. But it's also interesting because normally I have to be kind of in speaker view, so I never get to see really who's on the call. But now that I actually could go through everyone and check who is there and look at the pictures, that was such an inspiration for me to see everyone on the calls. And I guess we should do that more often because it is really beautiful to see everyone who is joining us. That is the one thing that I wanted to share. And but I also, when it comes to changing perspective, when we did the second miracle game 5 years ago, there was one big shift in my life when I changed one word in a sentence, and that is I changed the sentence from life is happening to me to life is happening for me. And when that shift happened consciously in my mind, everything changed. Because when I was in that, life is happening to me, it was in the midst of the pandemic. And I really felt like a victim to everything that was happening. But with what we did in the miracle game, I changed that to life is happening for me. And now when something happens, it doesn't matter how big or small, my question is immediately, what is here that is happening for me? And by looking for that, I see always very quickly the benefit of any situation that happens to me. And that was such a change in my life, the way I go through life, that I will be forever grateful for the miracle game to bring that shift about in my mind, so that I'm now looking for the miracles all the time and for the benefit in everything that's happening. I just wanted to share that.
Awesome. You bring up an interesting point. Since I'm also usually doing a job, then I don't get to really fully look and see how many people are on the call as well. And as the faces kept coming, I was like, wow, there's a lot of people on the call. And we get to touch all of these people, and then of course there's the people who don't get on the call who will watch the replay, that we get to touch them as well. But I want to acknowledge all of you because you are all part of what will go forward to spread more love in the world as people do the exercise when they're watching the replay. So know that you're making a difference. All right, Susan and Joseph.
Hi. Well, I just wanted to, I love the exercise. It feels so good. And, but I wanted to make a comment about perspective change. So the first call that I came on, everybody was saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I was like, what the hell is this? And it felt so uncomfortable to me because for lots of different reasons, I had shut down to receiving love, to really being comfortable with love of a whole group of people. It was just odd to me. And I thought, well, not for me. And my perspective changed when I said, okay, I remember being a little girl and I just wanted to love everybody. I just wanted to love. But then that changed and I went to a safer place for myself, which wasn't really safer. But anyway, the second call I came on, I said, okay, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to see what it feels like. And oh, came out of me, I love you and I'm with you. And something happened inside where I opened up and it was like, oh God, this feels good just to love everybody. And it was a perspective change. And receiving love has always been challenging. I love to give love. And once somebody said to me, you're pushing love. You're pushing love. Don't push love. Just be love and let yourself experience that. And so then that was a profound insight for me. And I stopped pushing love and was just worked with radiating love. And now I'm still, Michael, I can't wait to read the book about getting better at receiving love and not always being so busy so I don't have any time to receive love. So I think this is a fabulous place for us to all get the opportunity to open deeper and deeper into love, and it's changed my life, and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Wait.
Oh, what?
Well, if I may, it just brought to me I think one of the most profound teachings somebody said to me. I was in a tailspin. I mean, I really was just in that spin cycle. And they looked at me and they said, don't believe what you're thinking. You know, I mean, you get stuck in thinking something and then you're sure you know it and you're sure you're right. And that's the only thing you can see. And as soon as you just stop believing that for 1 second, there's an infinite number of other possibilities that exist. So that's a good exercise for me. Try it on, see if it fits.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, both of you. Susan, your share, I think, was particularly valuable to me. I know that when I first came on the Ancient Secrets call, the whole, I love you and I'm with you was a little weird, but I pretty quickly got to realize the Ancient Secrets call was the first time I ever felt love coming across the Zoom screen. Like I'm in, groups that I love my friends who are on there, and we'd leave and we'd say, I love you. And then we'd hang up. But it wasn't like the Ancient Secrets. This was like, oh my God, I feel that love coming at me through the screen. And and people, when they need that healing boost and within seconds after we rub our hands together and we send them love, they're like, I felt that, and it really is very powerful in my opinion, that we have these ways that we can tangibly feel the energy that comes from each one of us. And so I am so happy that I decided to do this on this call today. Fabulous. Belle.
Oh yeah, Robin, just yes, may we do this more often. I got to experience both sides, the ego personality. I didn't see myself come on the screen. So then I felt left out. I don't belong. Cornelia can't see me, like all of that, whether I did or didn't, I have no idea. But I got to actually see the ruminations of my mind looking for me. And then the other piece is just remembering that it's a miraculous thing finding God in another's eyes on the way to finding her in my own, and that exercise really gives us permission and working the muscle of really finding the mirror in the other, that there is no other. And here we are going through our community and we're mirroring each other, and what a gift that is to be able to choose the perspective that we are choosing to mirror each other. And so, Robin, brilliant, brilliant. And I think, it could be an exercise once a month on the Ancient Secrets call, just to remind us who we each are. And I remember who I am by seeing all of you. So thank you.
Awesome. And I have to say, I didn't know my 1 to 2 minute idea was going to bring up so much fruitful conversation and experience for people. So I think this is wonderful. Wonderful. Nehemiah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Whew. This was very deep. I was getting into deep state of meditation with open eyes, seeing all these beautiful forms of the divine. What I would like to do with it is to take it to the street of New York and to look at everyone I meet the same way, not to wait until months or whenever from now, to do it even now, because people don't have to come to the Zoom to be good. They are good anyway. I have to just open my eyes and to open my energy like it's now. Now I feel pulsation. Now, a paradigm shift. Whew. I have a very deep one. It's happening now, 77 years to manifest. Man, that's my age. I was born into poverty. I was born, maybe the city wasn't bombarded with the same efficiency, but a baby doesn't know it. City of Jerusalem, 1948. My father died after 3 months. My mother not always able to, because of a depression, to give me milk. And the food, everybody knew food was scarce. And then it happened again and again in my life. So, even I remember from past lifetime, which I have in contact because sometimes I need to go there, that I was the last standing living Jew in Ghetto Warsaw. So I'm used to live on the edge. And I became good at it. And even pride myself on it. Because I live in the drama and I had the excitement, and always I found the money in the last minute, and I managed to do things. I managed to buy all these thousands of dollars gongs, and on credit it was zero interest, and moved the zero interest from place to place. And then the starts the reckoning. First the pandemic, zero interest became high interest. I made mistakes that caused me to be even more in debt. Like I had to eat butter. And now, and on top of it, I became sick lately, as I shared in Kuntrop. So, but at the same time, signs come from spirit. Don't worry, you'll overcome it and you shift. And one of them, just to give example, 3 times in the city of New York, people ran after me and I didn't ask for money, I never do that. I mean, for the charity, but never for myself in the street. And put money in my hand, and it was always $20, and they ran away. 3 times it happened. So God was giving me signs that it's changing. I have to start to believe. So now that coming out of the sickness, not being able to work much, money keep on coming even today, exactly the amount I need. But I know it will be more than that because I'm always offering to give, but this time I'm also including myself. The meaning of my name, Nehemiah, divine compassion, I give it to myself as well, financially as well. So I'm starting in Israel, and it's working, it's starting very strong. And it will be with Jewish and Arabs, and Shifa is part of it. Later on, it will be the Palestinian, and I'll raise money. Maybe some of you people would like to help. And there's something happening on the ground. I don't do it yet because until it happens on the ground, I'm training for Israelis and Arabs to become facilitator for breath and for reducing stress. That's my contribution. So anyways, last thing that I want to say is the shift that happened in the world that we are part of. I mentioned before, and I want to mention it again because it's so important to remember. The world around us going through big challenges. I don't need to tell anybody. Everyone is more busy, stress, and more suicide, pandemic of all kind of stuff. Forget about physical pandemic, emotional pandemic, whatever, wars, whatever. But this is a transition time from Kali Yuga to Satya Yuga, from the 26,000 years of egocentric, according to Mayan calendar, to 26,000 years of trans-egocentric. And we are in the midst, this year is the year of the transition. It's the toughest. Hopefully it won't come to America so bad that it come to other areas, you know. But this is the big, it's not more than silver lining. We and many other groups that I happen to be lucky to meet, and many that I don't meet, we are the pioneers of the new age. We are the ones that send the energy. And the more we connect to this energy like we did today, and we do every time in a different way, the more we can be the pioneer of the army of peace. And of course, when we give love, we have love. And of course, we have to learn to receive love like we are talking about today. So anyway, that's my message for today. Let's stay strong and joyful pioneers, because who we are and what we do matters. That's it.
Absolutely, it matters. And so the more things go crazy and the more in the world we can actually use, just take all that energy and spiral it into love and make magic happen everywhere.
By the way, this is real Tantra, what you're saying. This is what Tantra is. You take and transmute. It's also real Kabbalah. It's everything.
Ah, got it. Awesome. Luke.
So about a week ago, Michael called me on the phone and we had a great discussion about receiving love. And he told me about his idea of the love pill that he wants to create and the book that he's creating. And we talked about receiving love. And I told him, it's so easy to give love. I have a difficult time receiving love. And I used the example of the very first night in Sedona recently. It was, we had a dinner at the restaurant La Chocolat. And it happened to be my birthday on that day. And word got around it was my birthday. I had only told Clint, but word got around. And at one point, Anne Renee and Tardy come over to me with a little plate and a candle. And suddenly there's about 40 people. Everybody that was there was standing up, singing me happy birthday. So all this love coming at me. And I have to admit, it was beautiful, but I felt embarrassed. I felt uncomfortable, actually, amidst all that love coming at me, because I'm not used to having such a huge amount of love coming to me at one time by so many people. And I really had to look at that. Why is it so hard to receive such an abundance of love from so many people when it's so easy to give love? I could receive love one-on-one or two-on-one, but having 40 people standing up and singing happy birthday and sending me all this love, maybe I felt I was not worthy of it. I'm not sure. I'm really still looking at this. But I noted how difficult it was for me to receive love from so many people all at once. So it's something worth working on. Thank you.
Always a lifelong journey that we get a little better at every time. Thank you, Luke. Esther Francis.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm unmuted now.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So to just leapfrog from what Luke just shared, our culture is one in which we have learned love in such a narrow way. And many of us primarily as something that relates to romance, that relates to a particular partner or family. And I feel one of the greatest contributions of our community here is the permission that has been co-created through expressing, I love you and I'm with you. And that love being the huge love that some people call agape or unconditional, whatever name, the love like the Eskimos have for snow. They have something like 50 words for snow. And taking that little word love and expanding it to the whole spectrum of what it is and making it's natural, but we've been taught in a way that's unnatural, not in alignment with who we are and what the universe is and what nature is. So this reframing, I feel it makes us the pioneers of possibility, and that we're birthing love as a remembrance of what truly is our nature. And that's one of the things that I just put my arms around and embrace this community. And dear Dr. Naram, who phrased it so beautifully at the beginning of the book, that I'm not here to teach you, I'm here to love you. Well, that is a teaching. Paradoxically, it's a huge teaching. So that's my share and just appreciation. Robin, this was brilliant.
Yeah.
And for us to realize as we felt this through that the Zoom is only the medium, but to do this like this, to bring the silence with that we got back the mirroring of that we can feel it in this way.
I just thought
Wow.
I want to add one thing in there too, if I may, Robin. It
Yes.
just was so fun being with Esther and Belle in Mount Shasta just the last couple of days. And it was so beautiful, their peacefulness, their essence, their presence. This is them meditating right in front of where Love Rock is.
Oh,
And then we went to the headwaters, and I had a moment where I could just hold, and it was like me and Esther Francis, we were just cuddling with each other and laying on the ground. And she's like, a week ago, I would never guess I was even going to be on the ground, you know? And it was just so nice to have our heads next to each other and cuddling each other and loving each other. And I was like, it feels so good just to be more free to express love and affection and to feel that connection. So I feel that, Esther, when you were speaking that, I was like, oh, we were just living it. It felt so good, you know?
it was precious to me beyond words. It was so precious. Oh my gosh. A treasure that I bring back in my heart. And I want to also share community. Joey is a master healer. I had, oh my gosh, my back, not only did I wake up yesterday feeling even more connected than ever and without back pain, I drove 6 hours back with ease and peace, which was what do you want in the morning. And I danced last night from 7 till 10. And
Wow.
when I got home, my body was sore, but instead of going into ooh, I went into oh, beautiful, regenerative, amazing body. And again, I woke up like like it's never felt this good kind of feeling. So I just want to share that again, putting like, we want to focus on where we're going. We need the rear view mirror. You're a lousy driver if you don't use it and you're not considerate of what's all around you and behind you. It all propels you forward, though. We want to focus on where we're going. And, Cliff, it's so great your presence on the call. It's so great you have a generosity and you mirror that quality and also your feeling so that we all feel more empowered to say yes to the fullness of who we are, to give 100% of love. Dr. Clint, not Dr. Clint and Dr. Naram, that 100%. Well, for me, the most important that I'm leaning into is to give the 100% for love. And that means also forgiveness and understanding. If we in the mind judge, oh, I could have done it better. Okay, hug ourselves and move on and keep loving. So, in gratitude.
Awesome. Thank you, Esther Francis. Okay, Katie's is the last hand up, and seeing you, Katie, as the person with the last hand up, it reminds me, I don't think I ever asked for announcements.
You didn't, so I raised my hand because this whole call has just been so fabulous, and every Sunday is a gift. I want to just acknowledge each one of you for making this a safe space to be able to open our hearts to each other. You know, what a true miracle for me has been when I started coming on these calls, I don't know, in 2021, I was so afraid to express the love that I feel. And this being in this community has allowed me to open my heart and be the loving presence, growing into being a more loving presence in the world. You know, I can go from this safe space into the world and feel safe to love. And to me, that's a miracle, which is a little segue into saying that you can still join the miracle experiment game that started yesterday. Today is the last day to join. If you have any draw to do that, I highly encourage you to join, because miracles really do happen. And the people have been referring to the miracle experiment game. So if you haven't, there's Luke. If you haven't experienced it, it can be a life-changing game where we apply 3 of the ancient secrets and form a community where miracles really do happen. And so I wanted to say that. That's one announcement. The other is that Dr. Clint put in a link for the celebration of life for August, the 6-year-old little boy that we have all been loving and praying for, and his mom, Erica, and his aunt, Brooke, and his family. So if you're interested in that, there's a link in the chat. And the other thing is, it's Lakshmi's birthday today. And so that's to celebrate. But Robin, this was just a fabulous, fabulous call. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Now, before we do, actually, we'll do the rub our hands together. My song at the end, after we turn the Facebook Live off, is it's part of this the Bay Area youth music project that I learned about when we did the Ashland event. And this song I occasionally play on a loop, and it's I think 2 little girls singing about love. And so I'll wind up ending with that before we go into breakouts. But why don't we rub our hands together and unmute and tell everybody that you love them and they're with you. I love you and I'm with you. And I certainly have enjoyed today with all of you.
I love you all.
Love you,
and I'm with
and I'm with
you.
you.
Love you and I'm with you. Love you and I'm with you.
Love you, and I am with
Love you
you.
and I'm with you.
I'm with
Love you and
you.
I'm
I'm
with
with you.
you. Love you and
Love
I'm
you, and
with
I'm
you.
with
I'm with you.
I love
Love
you
you
and
and I'm
I'm with
with
you.
you. And I'm with you.
Love you, and I'm with
Love
you.
you and I'm with
you and I'm with
you.
you.
And I'm with you. I love you.
I love you, and I'm with